Mere was so excited when she woke up this morning. She bounced out of bed, put on her furry buzzy bee slippers and went into the kitchen. On the table, Mere's papa had her favourite breakfast waiting for her. Warm rewana bread, thickly spread with golden Manuka honey. "Papa, Papa, it's my birthday. I'm 7 today." "Oh, harihuri tau ki a koe, Mere," answered Papa. "Happy birthday." Mere had been waiting for this special day for ages. "Papa, remember when you said I could go to work with you when I turned 7? Mere's papa was a beekeeper who worked in the Prue, the bush, looking after the beehives. I remember, Mere," he said. "Now eat your parakuihi before it gets cold. I'll give you your present after." Mere ate her breakfast quickly, then opened up the brightly wrapped present her papa had given her. Inside was her very own beekeeper's suit. It looked exactly like the one Papa wore to mahi, but it was in her size. Mere tried it on straight away. The suit was white with a long zip that zipped right up past her neck, and it had a hood with a white net that protected her face. "Do you like your gift, Mere?" "I thank you. This is the best birthday ever. Now I can come and help you with your mahi in the bush for the rest of the summer holidays." Soon, Mere and Papa were in their truck driving into the bush. When they arrived, Papa showed Mere around the stacks of beehives, with hundreds of bees buzzing around them. However, she wasn't afraid they could sting her because she had her new suit on. "Pauri atu ngā pī," she said as she waved them away. "Go away!" Mere noticed that one of the bees buzzing right in front of her nose looked different to the others. It had orange and black stripes on its body with a silver fern pattern on both its wings. Suddenly, Papa stopped to lift the lid off a hive and pulled out one of the wire frames inside. It was covered with yellow, waxy hexagon shapes. "He aha tēnei?" asked Mere. "Is this honeycomb?" Sometimes Papa would bring this home for them both to have with their cups of tea. "Aye," Papa answered. "I'm gathering the honeycomb frames from the hives. Later on today, I'll put them into a machine that spins the honey out into jars." "What can I do to help, Papa?" asked Mere. "Your job is to stay by the truck and get our morning tea ready." "No, that's a stink job, Papa." "E kao, it's an important job, Mere. Afterwards, we'll go check on some of the other hives in the bush." While Papa went to do his mahi, Mere, still dressed in her beekeeper's suit, sat in the truck. But she wasn't alone for very long. The unusual bee with the silver fern wings came along to visit her. It flew up around her ears as if the bee wanted Mere to listen to something it had to say. Because, in fact, it did. "E hine, he aha tō ingoa?" the bee asked. "Girl, what is your name?" Mere looked at the bee in surprise. "He aha tō ingoa?" the bee asked again. "Ko Mere ahau," Mere replied, still in shock. "I'm Mere. I've never spoken to a bee before." I've never spoken to a little girl before either," the bee said. "My name is Heni. What are you doing out here?" "It's my birthday today. I'm helping my papa with his mahi," said Mere. "You don't look like you're doing very much." "Aye, Heni. I've got the boring job. I wish I could help do some real mahi." Henny started to buzz around from left to right and back again as if she was thinking about something. "Why don't you help us with our mahi? My whānau are kaitiaki of the bush." "What do you do?" asked Mere. "Come, I'll show you," said Henny. Suddenly, a big puff of smoke appeared out of nowhere, and as it cleared, Mere was not sitting inside the truck anymore. Instead, she was flying and making a buzzing sound. "What happened?" exclaimed Mere. "I've turned you into a bee," said Henny. "Happy birthday." "But how?" asked Mere, looking at her new orange and black striped bee body. "As well as being kaitiaki of the bush, we are also from the whānau of magical Manuka bees." "Miharo, that's amazing!" "Yes, it is amazing. But come on, we have mahi to do. I'll turn you back into a little girl afterwards." At first, Mere was nervous about flying because she never had to use wings before. But soon she was confidently beating her silver fern-patterned wings together. She flew over the beehives while her papa did his work, swooping up, then down, zigging one way and zagging another. She wriggled her new bee body like she was making up a cool new bee dance. "This is so fun, Henny. What's our mahi?" Mere followed Henny over to a stand of Manuka trees covered in tiny white flowers, where members of Henny's magical Manuka bee whānau were gathered. "Our mahi is to collect the kai." Mere watched the whānau flying around sucking the nectar from the flowers. "He reka tēnei kai," said the bees. "This kai is yummy." Mere flew up to one of the flowers and sucked the nectar. "Oh, ai, tēnō reka." When Mere and the whānau had gathered enough nectar, they flew over to the beehives and gave the nectar to the kaimahi bees who were working inside the hives, building the honeycomb. "Ngā mihi, thank you," said the kaimahi, who stored the nectar inside the honeycomb's hexagon cells. The whānau of magical Manuka bees also gathered pollen from the flowers of Manuka and other trees and spread it around the puihi. "Ngā mihi, thank you," said all the flowers and plants of the bush as the bees helped to pollinate them. After a few hours, Mere became worried that her dad would be looking for her. "Henny, I have to go now. Papa will be wanting his morning tea soon." "Ka pai," said Henny. "Thank you for helping us." Suddenly, there was another puff of smoke, and Mere was inside the truck again, wearing her beekeeper's outfit. "That was a cool present, Henny. What other magic can you do?" "There's heaps more. The Manuka gives us some other special powers. Come back and help us look after the puihi, and I'll show you," replied Henny before flying away. "Ai, ka kite anō," said Mere. Soon, Papa was back at the truck. "Have you got our kai ready, Mere?" Mere smiled to herself as she thought about her adventure with the magical Manuka bees. "E kau, Papa, I've been really busy with mahi this morning. Being a bee, a beekeeper, is a lot of hard work."